Destructoid.
And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast. I'm Brett Medlock, video producer and host here at Destructoid. And today, with me, as always, is John Frisha, indie developer and managing editor over at The Escapist. How you doing, John?
I'm just so happy to be here with you all.
Great. That's just great. And then we have Greg Vargas, writer and PC Invasion, writer at PC Invasion and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe. How you doing, Greg?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good.
You beautiful bastard.
Yeah, no. And then we have Brett Larson, the King Daddy Dilf of the podcast. How you doing, Brett?
I'm good, man. I'm just happy to see John again. I know he missed last week, and it was unfortunate that he missed the show.
Yeah, John just missed.
You're
He
full of
always
lies.
misses. He's
absent,
lies.
man. I don't get it.
He's just always
You're all
gone.
living in an alternate reality.
Yeah, so last week we could not do the show live, but we did actually post a full episode over on podcast services. So if you missed last week, make sure you go listen to mine and Greg's fireside chat. I actually ended up having to cut like 25 minutes of Halo Infinite content because it was right at the beginning of the podcast. And when I'm like, dude, this is a Nintendo podcast. And we just talked about Halo.
We had the
25 minutes.
most intelligent, in-depth Halo conversation. You scrubbed it all. I cannot believe you.
Honestly,
You'll
I
have
think
to release
mad.
Yeah, I think
You'll have to
halfway through
release a
this week-
director's cut version of that at some point.
Yeah, save it for a
Halfway through this
Patreon
week-
later.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm gonna upload those 25 minminutes
No, you're
like,
not.
in like 3 days to the audio feed only. Just be like, here's a bonus episode of just
Six.
Halo.
6 months later.
Exactly. And then I just find it like, oh yeah,
Yeah, we
there's
talked about
coverage
Halo that one time.
There's content that we never released. All right, and then lastly, we have Eric on the ones and twos. Shout out to him for hosting the show from his supercomputer. Thanks so much, Eric. And unfortunately, Mary could not be here today. She is, I don't know the reason, so let's just assume she is under the
Won $1
weather.
million, and she decided to leave everything behind.
Exactly, that's exactly what happened. And now I have to figure out my whole game plan because we work together pretty much every single day on video coverage. But if you want to be a part of the show, make sure you go and leave a comment over on this week's video, and then you can be in next week's video. We'll be sure to... Actually, no, there's no comments because we didn't upload the YouTube video, so no one's going to be involved today. But if you want to be, make sure you leave a comment in the YouTube section. And other than that, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. It would really help. I noticed that we got a decent amount recently. We got like 7 or 6 new reviews on Apple Podcasts, all 5 stars. So that's really great.
The only kind
And-
we want.
Exactly. If
I
you
hit it
have
with all
anything
my
other
alt
than 5
accounts.
stars, you can just screw off. We don't want you.
But keep listening.
Exactly, but keep giving us those views and listens. So yeah, there's not a lot of stuff going on. I'm actually scrolling up to try and find the very tiny short list that we made. And the first thing that we're going to talk
A lot of
about is
Exciting
on the screen
things
right now.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we're getting Pokemon, a new trailer of that, and then we're also getting the full reveal of Sonic Frontiers. So that's going to be exciting. But today, at least we got a little tease for Sonic Frontiers, which gave us a lot of information for only being like 15, 20 seconds long or however long it was. Like we can actually see what the game is now, and it's on screen right now, and that will be topic number 1 of the show. So John, first thoughts on Sonic Frontiers. What do you think?
Somebody just pointed out that there's 2 Johns on screen.
Oh, is there? Who's the other John?
You.
You're
It's
the other
me.
John.
I'm John. I'm
I'm
John
multiplying.
Frisha, host
This is
here at
great.
Destructoid.
Thanks for
John-
thanks,
Oh,
John
there's
Johnny.
John.
Rucker.
Eric's gonna fix it on the fly, I'm sure.
Anyway, though, I don't know. I think it's a promising start. I mean, obviously, like you can make anything look good or terrible in like 20, 30 seconds. So like, who knows?
Yeah.
But so far, so good. I think. Like it looks fun, you know.
Yeah.
And it's with Sonic games, typically like combat always boils down to you jump and you hit something, and here it's more sophisticated. It's you
For
spin
one.
around something, then
And
you
then
jump
hit it.
and hit it.
So
This is evolution.
it pretty much. So as someone who has recently played through all the way through Sonic Worlds, halfway through Sonic Adventure Battle 2, all the way through Sonic Forces, and halfway through Sonic, what's the other one? Unleashed. The evolution of the gameplay has not changed at all, pretty much, in the entire, of all the 3D games. It's literally, you jump, you press X or A or whatever console you're on, and then you go toward the enemy, and then you hit them. Like, that's pretty much the beginning and end of it. Now, with this, just seeing anything different is great. and like you said, he like spun around the enemy, and like the movement of Sonic looked different for once. Like, he looks like he's moving different, and that's what I want out of this game. And along with that, we see like a big open world. It's pretty, but I'll talk more about it after I hear Brett Larson's thoughts. What do you think about Sonic Frontiers so far?
So I am I'm guilty because I've not really played a whole lot of Sonic before. The one thing that I am interested in is, a few months ago I didn't have a lot of experience with Kirby either, and fast forward until the Forgotten Land, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I always forget the Forgotten Land. That came out, and like I almost had no expectations. Like the trailer looked good, but because I didn't have a lot of experience with that franchise, like I could only be so excited, right? But dude, that game came out, and there's a very good chance it ends up being my game of the year. So like I'm trying to like let myself still build up some anticipation, because I think it looks really cool. I'm watching the trailer as well on the side there, so I'm not looking at the camera. But like what we've seen looks really cool, and hopefully it's like the Kirby effect. It comes out, and I'm like, just because I hadn't played many games in the franchise, I can still love this game, and it can still be something like it. By all means, it's got the writings on the wall of being something special. I like how it looks so open. I'm curious how open it is, because it's got like these really cool lush open worlds like Breath of the Wild, wide open like lands. But I'm curious if it's going to be really open, or if it's going to be more like these open areas, but you're kind of funneled into certain spots that you can actually run around in. So
right,
I'm assuming it's sort of a mix of the two, but we also got to keep in mind, and this is a Nintendo podcast, this game is coming to Switch, so there has to be some limitations there in terms of how vast this world can be. Not that the Switch is like holding back the game from being something greater, but I mean, when you think about it, Sonic is moving at fast speeds. This is an open world game, at least like how Brett's saying, like semi-open. It's one of the two. So we have to keep that in mind. I don't think it's going to be like this crazy huge open thing, but I do picture some like open sections and some linearity involved in that. John, what are you gonna say?
Hopefully. Oh, sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
No, I was just gonna say, hopefully tomorrow some of the questions we have for this game will be answered, and we'll know a little bit more. Me and Brett game share some of the time, and so like we'll like talk to each other like, hey, do you want to go halfsies on this game or this game or this game? And we both said today we probably would go halves on this game. I think it's, from what I've seen so far, I'm interested in it, but hopefully we know more tomorrow as well.
Yeah. So I think, and this has been pointed out before, like one of the reasons that we've never gotten an open world Sonic game before is like, well, the big question is like, well, how the heck do you do that? Like, Sonic is all about speed, and like you see like these awesome tech demos of where like they create this open world, but it's like this open world where like there's not really like an objective. It's just kind of like this sandbox where you run around and do stuff, and it's fun for like half an hour, but like how do you scale that to like a 20-hour video game, So it'll be really interesting to see how they've answered that challenge. But my larger point I was getting at is that actually I think maybe this will be like an especially large world, strictly because for Sonic to like keep doing his like gotta go fast thing, like then the world has to be like really big to give him places to run to, Yeah,
that's true. And that's one problem with a lot of Sonic games, is that momentum, you lose it a lot. And unlike almost every Sonic game since the very beginning, you lose your momentum constantly, and it's not a good feeling. And that's why I think a lot of people don't like Sonic, is because like they want to go fast, and then they end up hitting a wall. They come to a complete stop, and then it's like, we're just speed up again, and then you hit something, complete stop. So yeah, I am really curious what exactly this game is going to do when it comes to the traversal and stuff. And I'm hoping it's something like what was that game, Brett? You would know. It was like a PS5 launch game where you like shoot an arrow to travel, and like if you hit things, you speed
The
up like quick and
Pathless.
quicker. Yeah, the Pathless. I'm
Pathless,
hoping that this game includes something like that, where it's like in the environment, if you do something, you can keep on moving, like your momentum gets faster and faster, and like that'd be a fun way to change how Sonic feels. Now, Greg, we haven't heard any of your thoughts, so what do you think about Sonic Frontiers from what you've seen?
So I I mean, I echo a lot of the same sentiments. Like, when we look back to like the first true like 3D open world Sonic game, that'd probably be something like Sonic Adventure. And I felt like even though it was enjoyable and there was iconic scenes, like the casino, what's the one, the highway, whatever, where you first run down the building, then you run along the um, freeway system, and then even the opening with the big whale. I feel like those are like really iconic standout Sonic, going fast, exploring these like big open 3D worlds, but they still had their own issues. With him kind of falling off rails, or you hit a bumper and you land in the ocean and it just randomly spits you out to the side. And I feel like we're from the visuals that we saw, it's probably gonna be similar to that. I'm not as jazzed as you guys, I don't think, just because I'm cautiously
Sonic.
optimistic.
Yeah.
I love Sonic, which is the troubling part, but I feel like I feel like the IP itself finds most of its success in going fast in a 2D
Nostalgia.
atmosphere. And I think that's why Sonic Mania works so well. But I will say that from the trailer, even that scene where he kind of spins around that one robot and his legs are upside down and he's like stiff bodied, like floating around in this weird, hurricane spin. I'm just like, what is that? But I feel like it's probably sitting somewhere in terms of open world in between something like Biomutant and Sonic Adventure 1. And that's what
Yeah,
it seems
I
like to
can picture
me.
that. Biomutant, such a random pull, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
it's
I feel like mostly in terms of how yes, it is an open world game that does have a lot of side quests littered around it, and you're still progressing the story. But I think it does it in a very, very, I don't know, careful way. And I feel like that's something that Sonic Team hasn't really embraced, is like, yeah, you can have this open world and you can have these, sequences where you see a cinematic, then go into like a 2D or 3D level. But like they have to do that for this, what seems like a massive world. And I just have trouble wrapping my head around Sonic Team, fulfilling the promise of delivering something that's truly remarkable and
Yeah.
innovative when it looks like we're getting, similar Sonic
I mean,
animations and world.
I feel like like whether or not this game will thrive or like people will hate it is based on how it feels to play. And that's like I was saying before, it's like one of their biggest problems with Sonic games. Sonic doesn't always feel great to play. Like it
Yeah.
honestly rarely does. Like there was a podcast a few weeks ago where I was talking about Sonic World and Greg said something about it just like in a passing, not much, but he was like it just seemed like inconsistent. And that's what I've noticed with like every single Sonic game I've been playing recently is that like for 30 minutes, I'm having a hell of a good time. Platforming is awesome. It feels great. And then out of nowhere, it just feels like shit. It's so inconsistent with its platforming, with its level design, with everything. And that's what I'm hoping this game just stays. I just hope it stays consistent. That I feel like that's the most important thing. And he's gonna have to feel good to play as, or else it's just not gonna be fun.
Yeah. And I felt like a lot of the comment sections for the trailers, I looked at a couple different ones just to see what people's reactions were. And like I hate the internet now because I can't tell if people are trolling or they're serious.
Like the
especially
Morbius thing.
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. It's Morbin time, and I'm like, that is not in the movie, or is it?
It's Morbin
And
time.
so
So-
they were commenting on the Instagram trailer, and I was just like, I can't tell if this is genuine excitement or genuine trolling.
I feel
What
like
I've seen has been
Oh,
like
sorry.
genuine so far.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like Sonic is having like a revolution. Like Sort of how Resident Evil
Yeah.
did with Resident Evil 7, and how Monster Hunter did with Monster Hunter World. I feel like this is another series that could come back swinging, and we already saw that, like, in the film territory, like, Sonic is thriving. The IP is, like, known as like this major thing right now, and if they can nail this game, Sonic is going to be, like, bigger than ever with the movies and the video games. And
That's so
all
hard,
that
man,
stuff.
because those are two innovative
I don't know
games.
about ever. Hang on.
Those
I don't know
are
about
two-
bigger than ever. Sorry about that.
No, those are two innovative games within their
Possibly.
own franchises, though, and that's the hard part. Is like I don't see anything that's like that Sega went to the drawing board and sat down and said, "Oh yeah, let's tease and show this, and it'll blow people away." And it's like, "Oh, well, that's Sonic, and he's doing Sonic things." But
Yeah, but he's spinning around the enemies, Greg. He's doing something
10 out of 10
different.
then.
Went in
I'm
a
sorry,
circle
Brett.
around the end.
No, but for real, like,
Seriously,
Out
go
of
to
the
that.
stuff-
Eric, can you go to that animation where he's upside down? It's like after the second spin hit, and his legs are straight up at the ceiling. Like,
But
come on.
I mean,
Greg paused
as
it on
someone
one
who-
spot and he's like, aha, the animation looks terrible there. See, I was right.
yeah.
Watch, we're gonna come
Um,
back to this, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I was so wrong. Sonic was so bad, 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 bad." And I'm gonna be
I
like,
can't
"Sit the fuck up."
believe you're not
I
a little
can't
more
imagine this is gonna
optimistic.
be bad.
Just last
I
week,
just can't
Come on,
Greg
man.
said Sonic 2 is the greatest movie of all time.
I'm not wrong.
So I was going to say the same thing as you, Brett. Like, if there's ever a time for there to be another great Sonic, it would be now. Like, they've had
Sega
two
needs it.
they've had two very good movies, and if they knock a game out of the park, like you said, dude, Sonic is on top of the world right now. Like, it would be perfect timing for them to like bring Sonic back into the main, and have it be like a big player again. My question on like if it's truly open world is, with 90% of like the open world formula as it is now, a lot of open world games are go
Terrible.
here, meet this person in this faction, and they'll have a side mission for you to do, or they'll have there'll be talking points and you'll do these missions for them, and then meet someone over in this part of the map and you do missions for them. Like, how would that work with Sonic? Because Sonic is like
Excuse me,
gameplay,
Sonic.
and more
I
gameplay.
need 4 apples for my pie. Can you go retrieve them from the goblin under the bridge?
That's how
In 30
I'm hoping
seconds.
it's in 30 seconds or less, or else they will go
The
rotten.
pie will be ruined.
You need to get 3 screws for my shield so I can fight the goblins. But you know what I mean, though. Like Sonic has never like been deep into like any like talking
Side
and
quests or
dialogue
anything,
and like story at all. So like,
I mean,
how would
there's
that
lots
work,
of
you know?
story, just not very good stories.
And
I
not a
just
lot of
don't understand,
dialogue
like,
either.
It like peaked with Sonic Adventure, which was the first 3D game.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
never
guys,
played that
we
one,
did it.
so-
We hit our peak. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
the
we're
voice
just gonna
acting
coast
again.
for
Shit
20
titles after
years.
this.
But yeah, so Sonic Forces came out like 5 years ago. I think it was 2017. I could be wrong. Either 2017 or 2018.
Probably.
So this game, it had a longer development cycle than pretty much any mainline game for maybe of all time, to be honest, because like Sonic games have been coming
Possibly.
out like crazy.
I hadn't even
Um,
thought about that. You could be right. Yeah.
So
Well,
this
it was,
could be
it was making headlines even that they said internally they delayed the release of the game for quality purposes. Like they're shooting for
Yes.
higher review scores and all that. So like, it's so funny that they're like, "Oh, this game's special. This time we're gonna make it good."
Dude,
Yeah.
what's so weird is I legitimately, and I always bring up this article. It was like right ahead of Sonic. What was a really bad one on Wii U? Sonic.
all of them.
Yeah. Oh no, Lost World was
But
pretty good.
Not the Black Knight, the other
Not
one.
not Lost
Oh,
World, but the
Boom.
other one. Sonic Boom. Right ahead of that game, Sega was like, "We promise better Sonic games. We're gonna do better." And then it was like right before that game came out, which was not good, or at least not received good at all. I didn't play that one, so I can't say it for sure myself. But yeah, that game was not received well. Like right after they made like this promise for like a higher quality Sonic, and then we got
See, there was
Sonic
a lot of-
Forces, which also wasn't received great.
There was a lot of positivity around Sonic Colors though when it initially released on the Wii.
That was before
that's
Boom,
when-
though.
Yeah, but that's when I thought, that they kind of turned a corner on publishing, like even the direction of where Sonic was going, because I felt like the PS3, Xbox 360, and then like whatever the half episodes or they released on Xbox Live Arcade back in the day, I just felt like there was no like clear direction as like where Sonic is going, what we want those games to look like, whether in 3D or 2D. And I still feel like even now we're still trying to answer those. Who the fuck is this turtle? But like they're still trying to answer these like same questions. Is like, what is Sonic in the 3D world? What is Sonic in 2022? And like, it could just kind of looks like, I don't know, Xenoblade,
Now, guys,
I guess.
people always say, how do you make a Superman game? And this is all going somewhere because he moves too fast, and he's invincible.
Start over.
He's Superman, so he's super fast. So like you can't even make a game where he is fast. But like all you have to do, honestly, is just slow down everything else. He can go normal speed. He can go the speed of, I don't know, the
Smell.
anyone in any game. I literally can't think of any character. He can go like a normal speed,
Go the speed
and then
of
you just
Solid
slow down
Snake.
the Solid Snake. I almost said Sam Fisher, so that's just weird that you said Solid Snake because they're kind of similar.
It's like two of the same type of character.
So just I
Okay,
think
so
it would be
Superman
cool. Like
is a stealth warrior.
this guy,
Yeah.
Sonic, with gameplay, you can have it be normal gameplay and just like if you go into this super speed mode, instead of having him move extremely fast and the gameplay being extremely chaotic, like a lot of Sonic games have been, you keep it mechanically very strong, very smooth, feel great. And then you just slow down the world around him. So it seems like you're moving faster. Maybe speed him up a little bit, like in terms of like the actual feel of him, but then just like slow down everything and like Sonic's like jumping around, doing all these cool things. I can picture it. In my mind's eye, this Sonic game. But
You know what I
each
think
second is actually like 10 seconds. So it's like he's really going fast, but like 1 second takes 10 seconds in real time.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like something like that.
You know what I was thinking that would really make it feel, like, it had some padding to it, would be to like
Like your
if
pants.
like my pants, especially in the butt. I need it.
Patting in the butt.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Anyway,
I forgot what I was gonna say. No, I
sorry.
was gonna say, no, so like something like in Breath of the Wild, how they had shrines, but I think if they did like 2D levels in Sonic Frontiers as like shrines, I feel like that would be a good way to kind of, introduce 2D levels in a 3D world and still make, have it make sense.
hmm Yeah, I think the game structure is gonna end up being like similar to Breath of the Wild, in terms of you're gonna be roaming around this world a lot, trying to find things to do to upgrade Sonic in some way, so you can move on to the next spot,
Yeah.
something
Huh.
like that.
Forrest Gump Simulator.
Yeah,
I remembered a few minutes ago that the main writer attached to this game, they took the writer of the Sonic comic books, who's been writing these comics for like several years now. And
Hmm.
like the hardcore Sonic fans like really like this dude. And so like they were
Nice.
like freaking out that like the comics writer is like actually writing a mainstream Sonic game. So like I guess there'll be a story of some sort if they felt like bringing in this comics writer.
Now I think this is a good, perfect way for me to transfer over to the next topic, which is I think Game Freak needs to hire some writers from the Pokemon anime so that they can make the game story actually worthwhile and at least somewhat entertaining. So let's talk about Pokemon, you guys. We
Yeah.
got a new trailer coming tomorrow morning. Yeah, super early in the morning
9
for people on.
ET.
Yeah. It's 8 a.m. here, and for Brett, I think it's 7 or 6. Yeah, Jesus. Oh,
I'm
6
I'm
a.m.
2
on
hours.
the
I'm
West
2
Coast.
hours. I'm Pacific, so I am 2 hours before you.
6
Brett.
a.m.
If it's
So
8 for you, it's 6 for me. Yeah. So I will not be attending.
attending. But yeah, Sonic. I mean, not Sonic. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are gonna get more gameplay shown. I'm sure some details on probably the new features in the game, which is probably gonna be something that no one really wants. I'm just assuming. But this game, I don't know what it is because I was super excited for like the last 3 Pokemon games with Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Pokemon Legends. I was actually very hyped for all 3 of them. But for some reason, knowing this one is going back to the Sword and Shield formula and not the Pokemon Legends formula, which I loved, I don't really want to play a traditional Pokemon game yet, like already. Maybe I'll feel different in 7 months or whenever it comes out. It's very soon, isn't it? Like it's not even that long from now.
Yeah, like
So I
late
think it's
this year.
January. Yeah, late this year. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so soon already. So
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily in the mood for a new Pokemon game, but I guess tomorrow they could change my mind if it's something that's actually different, because that's what I loved about Legends. It was something different finally. Just like with Sonic Frontiers being something different. He can spin around the enemies, Greg. Do you understand?
11 out of 10.
Now, Greg, speaking of you, what do you think? Are you excited for Pokemon at all?
No, definitely not.
Brett?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. But I
Is
did.
Brett
I
the
did
only
wanna
one who
s-
plays it?
I think I am, yeah.
I think he is. This is going to be a rough topic. So I'll
gonna be
try
very
and fill it. I'll try and fill it with a joke here. I was going to tell you, Brett, that you mentioned how do you have a good Superman game? Well, you forgot to mention the fact that there already was a great Superman game, Superman 64. Thank
Nice,
you.
shut up. Now just go home.
Yeah, the greatest Superman game of all time. You don't get better than that.
One of the only Superman games of all
You
time.
don't get better
I'll
than
give you
Superman 64. No,
Okay.
I do have to say, like, it's kind of disappointing, even from someone that doesn't play Pokemon, that they are immediately going away from the Pokemon Legends formula, because I've heard from so many people how refreshing it was that Legends like mixed it up.
I think it'll
and
be
then, like-
back, just not yet.
Well,
Probably.
here's
But
the
it's
thing,
like
though,
a few months later, they're already going back to, first of all, another
Well, they were
Pokemon
in
game
development
that
at the
soon,
same
and then
time, for sure.
That's true. You can't really do anything about that. But like, man, two big Pokemon games within like 6 to 8 months of each other. That's nuts.
I think it ends up being like only like 2 months or a month and a half separated. I mean, 11 and a half or like 11 months from each other. So it's
Okay.
not like
So
it's
further
not
than I
like
Legends
super
came
close, like
out at
6
the
months
end
or
of
something.
January. So
Yeah.
if it comes out in like
Gotcha.
November, well then, 10
What is
months.
that? Like 10 months, yeah.
Two within
Okay.
the same year.
I mean, like less
Yeah.
than 10 months, because again, it was end
Yeah.
of January.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it
So-
could end up being less than 10 months apart, which is just nuts. Because all
Yes.
all I'm asking for, please, just let it cook a little longer and make this game at least look like an Xbox 360 game. I'm
I was
so
just about to
tired.
ask if you
of
were
these
getting
Pokemon
Pokemon
games.
fatigue.
I
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
am,
how-
I think, because I mean 3 in a row. I actually skipped Diamond and Pearl. I played it like for an hour and then I stopped, but yeah, I am kind of getting it. I think that's maybe why I'm not as hyped, aside from like the game looking like terrible graphics and then it going back to the old formula that I was kind of getting tired of. I think I'm just a little bit of Pokemon
Well,
fatigue right now.
See, here's the thing though, and this and again, I'm probably not gonna play this the same way. I haven't played any of them in like 17 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But but I think I'm actually more optimistic about this game than you guys, because we don't actually know how much this is like the old games yet. As far as I know, we haven't seen like any combat stuff
Yeah,
at all.
That's true.
Like
It
for
just
all
kind of
we
looks
know,
like it's gonna be. So that's
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
speculating.
yeah, but like as far as we know, it's entirely possible that some of the nicer quality of life elements from Legends has been incorporated into this game. We don't know yet. And
Yeah.
and I mean, this is going to be an actual open world game, apparently. So I mean, that in itself is kind of exciting as well. Like
Yeah.
even Legends was like only like semi-open world. It was like segmented
Hub-based.
areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is going to be like one big cohesive thing. So I think there's a lot of potential here. It's just like we just need to know more, and that's what
Yeah.
we'll get it
Yeah.
tomorrow morning.
I think it'd be cool if there was a
At
Pokemon
what time?
game
5
where
a.m.
6 a.m. on
6
the
a.m.
West
for
Coast.
yeah. I think it'd be cool if there was a Pokemon game where the whole game is literally you traveling like from point A to point B, like how The Last of Us. This is random. Like how The Last of Us starts in one state, and the whole game is you traveling to like across the United States. It'd be
You
cool.
want the first
Pokemon
scene to be Pikachu's mom is just
getting
like
murdered.
murdered.
No, but like to have the ability to, because I mean Ash's whole journey was just like he was constantly moving forward. He wasn't in like
Yeah.
one big open world and just going around in the same environments over and over. He was always going from one place to the next. I think it'd be cool if there was a Pokemon game where you're constantly moving forward and you can go back and like fast travel back to old places, but just constantly uncovering new areas. I guess with this big open world, it could be something like that, but I have a feeling it's just going to give you access to most of the open world like right away, and then you could probably just get like murdered by some Pokemon out in the like if you go too far. But
That would be
I don't
cool.
know.
Dude, I swear, Pokemon is like one of the only IPs that has like not evolved in 25 years. It's like Game Freak has so much
It's like Sonic
money.
the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
it's
well,
like Sonic.
at least Sonic like has done things from going 2D to 3D and tried different things. But like Game Freak has so much money, and what's frustrating is they sell 20 million copies every goddamn game they put out. So they have no motivation to improve their graphics. They have no motivation to being innovative and changing the formula, because they're like, we can just put out the same damn game 15 times in a row and we still sell 20 million copies for every title we put out. So it's like, it kind of sucks because it's almost like they need to just fail like 1 or 2 times for them to finally be like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and finally put something back together and like have something really special come out, you know?
Yeah.
So you want Game Freak to have a BioWare moment. You want them to put out an Anthem.
Hell yeah.
An
Hell
Anthem.
yeah.
That's exactly
I
what
want
they
them to
need.
have like the Assassin's Creed moment where they went back to the drawing board, changed it completely, because I love the new Assassin's Creeds. Brett doesn't, but I do.
Yeah, but Assassin's Creed wasn't really failing. It just didn't sell as
for
good
sure.
as the last one.
Right.
There's a big difference.
Yeah,
with
they
Anthem.
saw like what was happening, and you know they stopped it and took
Actually,
a couple of years off.
I think the initial sales for Anthem were very strong, but the drop off was like terrible, and it was supposed to be like a games as service game.
I just started playing it. I don't know why. It was on
For
Game
real?
Pass, and I downloaded it, and then I'm like, why am I still playing this? I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
I just wish I've tried to play Anthem a few times. I just wish they would make a single player mode that you could just pause the game and just like play it like a normal campaign, because I can't play it.
Brett, I've got a bogey on my back. Can you back me up here?
What do you? No,
A bogey
The
on
fake
my
Anthem
back.
Bogey on my
multiplayer.
I just
So
I
like golf?
want to be able to play it like a traditional BioWare game and just experience like the story for what little of it that there is, and just
Yeah.
be done with it. Like I don't need to like stick around and do like games of service missions and just a bunch of loot grinding and shit like that. I just want to play through the story, but you really can't. Like it forces you to like connect with other players to like play through missions, and if you don't connect with any other players, you're way underpowered, so you can't even like beat the levels. So yeah, even on easy, I was just getting murdered like playing all alone.
I don't know. I still think the flight
Yeah.
mechanics and some of the gunplay and like going from ground to sky, I feel like a couple elements were lifted from games like, now I can say it, like Xenoblade, but like I don't know. I feel like there could have been something special there, and it just seems like it was squandered away because of the price structure of the game, not necessarily the mechanics.
Yeah.
So.
And just
All
like
right, so
all
maybe
the loot was
they'll add
terrible.
flying and shooting mechanics to Pokemon.
There we go. That's
I just
what
want
we need.
fatalities.
Actually, they did
kill
add
them.
flying, like free flying
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Legends. So
Now
That was
you have
cool.
to be able to shoot while you're flying.
I think they should
I-
add something like that, like not necessarily shooting, but like maybe some active combat elements, because they basically have that sort of thing as like boss battles in Legends, where you're like
Right.
actually dodging and throwing things at this boss.
Yeah.
And it's like a third-person shooter. Like I want more of that out in the open world. I think
Mhm.
that'd be really cool. But then you could still like go into your traditional battles and for that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just wanna-
Legends was
I
just
just wanna
really
s-
good.
I just want to stealth sneak up onto a Pokemon and stick a knife in its throat.
Jeez.
They need to add some of those elements into it. Then I'll be into it.
That poor Zubat
Psyduck.
just got murdered. Psyduck. Sigh. My throat. Psyduck is evolving from having his throat slit. Okay, anyway, let's talk about the next topic. Actually, we're already. So yeah, we can just get into what we're playing.
Sonic Frontier.
No. We talked for Sonic for like 35 minutes, I think, or like 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Now,
yeah.
do you guys want to talk about our hopes and dreams for the not E3 showcases coming up in a few weeks, or honestly, like 10 days? Or do you want to talk about what we're playing? What's the vote? John, what do you vote
I don't-
for?
Okay, John.
I don't know because we're gonna have like random events like thrown in our face for like the next like at least like month and a half probably.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard to like say what I want to see across like a span of like 60 days.
Dude, I'm hoping that more companies just like partner together this year and not kind of do like their own thing. Like whenever like Namco Bandai did that showcase where like all they showed was their anthology game, like the horror game, it was just like ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
I'm hoping like if they have a trailer for one of their games, instead of doing this whole showcase where they say they have a showcase when it really wasn't, they just like put that trailer into Xbox's show or into Jeff Keighley's show, like don't
Yeah.
do your own thing because apparently everyone sucks at it because they were pretty
Yeah.
terrible the last few years.
Well, 505 Games did a showcase this year where they showed like 3 games. 3.
Yeah.
And like
Jesus.
one of them was a game that was like coming out in like a week. So it's like,
Yeah, it's like
why did we have to watch
Blood
this?
Bowl?
Probably
Was
saw it
Blood
100
Bowl one of
times.
them?
So
What'd you
yeah.
say, Greg?
I was saying, was Blood Bowl one of them? They have like was it
No.
like Blood Bowl and like Warhammer?
It was the one I already forget, which goes to show how much impact this showcase had.
Excellent
There was 3
showcase.
games. But the one, I don't remember its name, but it at least looked and sounded cool. It was a survival game where like you're out in the woods, but it's also like supernatural and steeped in the mythology of a specific was it Finland maybe? Maybe Finland? So like there's gonna be like trolls and stuff and like it's a survival game with like all the typical crafting elements. It's just that like then there's fantastical creatures and stuff on top of that.
Among
And
the
I think
Trolls?
yeah, that's it. And I think there's like co-op and stuff, so like all the individual parts sound fun. That might be a good game. Doesn't need a
Yeah.
showcase though.
Nah,
Yeah,
to
that's
be
that's
honest, I
something that would
zoned
be
out for a
included.
second.
It should have been included with like the Xbox showcase, which who's
Yeah.
to say it won't?
I
Even though
zoned
it's on
out for a
PC,
second,
it's-
and when I came back to, all I heard was trolls in Finland, and now I'm intrigued. But,
and now you have a chubby.
exactly. And I have gym
I
shorts
just
on, so
I
good
just
thing this
struggle
table's here.
with. I have a hard time with survival games. I end up getting bored with the whole like surviving and
I don't usually
I don't
play
know,
them,
man.
yeah.
like
No,
and so
I'm there
many of
with
them
you.
look really good too until you have to start like doing the whole survival element part of it, like the story.
you
You
actually
really
have to
like it
play
until
the
you have to
game.
play any part of
Well,
it.
I mean, like the world, the combat, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like the environment looks great, and then like I don't know, man. I
know.
struggle staying it like really being captivated and caring about it too much after so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah,
I think this
I
looks
get
dope,
that.
and like
Yeah.
I think the supernatural elements kind of give it something different than just like, what's a Rust? What's the
Yeah.
one that's like you have to like pee and stuff? But
I think it's that one.
yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks cool.
For me, like I don't have a problem with survival games. It's just I hate crafting in like any video game for any
Yeah,
reason.
Yep, same. And alchemy, I do not like.
Crafting,
either of
Yes,
them.
yes, crafting and alchemy.
and
I hate
crafting,
complicated alchemy.
gathering, yeah, and like gathering materials and making sure you've got everything you need to survive the night and stuff like that. Just that
Now, there is
doesn't
one
get me
game-
excited.
There is one
You're gonna say Breath of the
masterpiece
Wild.
that did preparation and crafting and all that stuff perfectly,
Is
and
it
it
The
was
Last
Death
of Us?
Stranding.
Oh,
Death
Oh, yeah.
Stranding
That's-
was awesome.
the most
Yeah.
boring game.
The most fun
No.
walking simulator I've ever played in my life.
I played it for like 3 hours when I was tired, and it just made me even more tired and like put me in a coma. And I
Dude, I
never touched it
legitimately
again.
love that game. Just give it a
I liked
shot,
it a lot,
man. Give it
too.
a shot.
Also, you really like
have-
the soundtrack, right?
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I
See,
thought the soundtrack was
I
great.
hated it and thought it was like pretentious indie garbage, so that
Oh
made
my
me want to play
God.
it even less.
Dude, I literally cried carrying. Well, honestly, it's because my mom died
Yeah.
like right before I played it, and then you're
Yeah.
carrying his dead mom up a hill, and it plays
Yeah.
this sad song. So I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was pretty heavy.
The thing is with Death Stranding is you have to get over the hump, and I know you don't want to hear this because it's like, well, if I'm not into it in the first few hours, I'm done. I'm over it. That's kind of what you did with Horizon Forbidden West too. You're like, I wasn't into it. I gave it 3 or
Well,
4 hours. I'm
I
done.
played a lot more
I
Forbidden West
uninstalled.
than I played Death Stranding.
Yeah.
How many hours did
it-
you
it
end up
was-
putting into Forbidden West?
It's like at least 10.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Brett, what
Yeah.
were you saying?
I was just gonna say with Death Stranding, I remember as well. Like the first handful of hours, I was like, I'm into it, but I'm not like I don't know how much I really want to continue. And then like at one point, it just starts to click, and then I was like, every night I would get off of work, I was like super excited to go home and play more, and I ended up loving it. But I didn't at first. Like it took a minute for me to get into it. So
Mm.
Dude, I
Did you guys
just
see
I
that,
loved every second of the game. What, Greg?
No, I was gonna say, did you guys see Norman Reedus
Yeah, he
confirm the
leaked.
sequel?
his
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah, I was
We
still
saw
kind of
Norman
confused by
Reedus'
the
ass,
whole.
Greg. Yes.
Yes,
The
it's my
whole quote.
desktop background.
The quote's kind of strange
Yeah.
with Death Stranding too, because he was talking about Silent Hill in the beginning, and then he like switched. No, he was talking about Death Stranding, and then it's like he switched to talking about Silent Hill, but then once he went back to talking about Death Stranding, his wording was so weird when he was like, "And now we're working on like the next one." But like,
Like we
Yeah.
just
are you
started
talking
on
about the next?
second one.
Yeah,
Death
and then
Stranding, or are
he
you
said
talking about-
part. He said part 2.
Oh yeah, you're
after
right.
as
That,
well,
I
yeah.
keep on
Part
forgetting
2.
that. Yeah, you guys said in the chat earlier. So he did say part 2 of Death Stranding. Do you think maybe he was talking about the definitive edition of the game that he probably did stuff for not
It was
that long
way
ago?
after that, yeah.
I doubt it.
Because
Yeah,
the voiceover and stuff is the stuff you do last. When like
Right.
typically for game development.
I mean,
So,
like,
but he said that months after the director's cut and stuff
Yeah.
came out, though.
plus, like, if there was like definitely no sequel being worked on, you'd think that like Kojima or PlayStation would just casually be like, "There's no game."
Yeah.
Right, they
don't
would
get your
just
hopes up.
confirm it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know whoever like is for sure making the game, which I'm sure would be Kojima, but you know as soon as they heard that, they're like, "God damn it, Norman, you idiots!"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Go watch my TV show Ride on AMC.
It's probably
We're
so
talking
easy
about
though,
Death
in this case,
Stranding
it's like-
4.
They don't need to confirm or deny anything. They could just like move on and let people think what they want, which is
Yeah, that's
know,
probably the
like-
best
Well,
thing to
that's
do.
what Kojima
at the end of
does
the day.
anyways.
Yeah,
He's the most
I mean, he's-
confusing son of a bitch of all time. Like,
I'll see like some random thing on his Instagram. It's like a coffee mug or something, and the next he's like unboxing this Stranger Things kit that he got from
Yeah.
Netflix, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
what?
the Series S.
What
He'll
is
just
your
post
life?
about, this looks cool.
And then
Yeah.
they'll have like a Nintendo logo on the end of something, and they're like, "Oh, a Nintendo game coming confirmed, Hodea or Kojima," and then yeah, and then and then he put out that thing where it had like the PlayStation Studios, and he put something with like Kojima Studios at the end of it, and then deleted it, so everyone's like, "Confirmed, Sony's buying Kojima Studios," and then he's like, "No, that's not happening." Why the fuck did you do that
Yeah.
then,
The master troll himself.
dude? He is,
Right.
he is.
I do want to say though, like I thought Norman Reedus was one of the weakest parts of the game, not because his performance or anything, but it was so blatantly obvious that he wasn't available to record a bunch of lines for the game.
Oh,
like
he phoned in so much of that.
there are so many scenes where like someone's giving him this like heartbreaking story, like this gut-wrenching story, and then it just cuts to his face and he's just staring at them like, all right. It's like you
Tough
could just
noogies.
record a line, like just record him saying "I'm sorry," anything. Like
Yeah.
he literally cut to him. He won't say a word. His dumb face was just sitting there staring at this person who's like bawling, like tears crying and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
man.
send you a card.
And then like
My condolences.
and then like when you get to these like new sections and like you're talking to this hologram and there's like someone who says something and like a Norman Reedus' character just does like, why couldn't they have recorded like one line just like a bunch of times like, all right, confirmed or something like that, anything. But it's just this person talking to him and then they disappear and Norman Reedus' character never says anything. I'm just like, come on. But
Kojima, a brilliant mind of our
But it
day.
was a great game. Aside from I'm Princess Beach or that stupid scene at the end. There was some really bad dialogue, but there was some really great dialogue as well. And it was so weird. And I just can't believe we got such a weird, high-budget game like this. Like, it literally is a AAA walking simulator. And that is crazy. And I don't use walking simulator as, like, a pejorative
And
term or
Jeff
anything. Like,
Jeff Keighley's in
I
it.
like them. I just think it's funny that, like, the game ended up being pretty much a delivery game where you're just walking the whole time and balancing.
Yeah, when I figured out that just walking, like that was it, that was the game. I was like, okay, well, I think I'm
that
done.
There's some
it is,
combat.
but it is, but it isn't. I mean, the most of the game is like taking a package from point A to point B, but there's definitely moments where you have to like use stealth
Strategy
to
game.
get around enemies, or even fight some enemies too. But yes, I mean the overall overwhelming majority of the game is walking. Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of the times, like before you like set out on your next trek across the land, like you would sit there and you have to be like, okay, I can't take this, but I really want to bring
Right.
this. And it was
Yeah.
always a great feeling when it's like, oh my god, I brought a rappel, like yeah, like a rope like rappel.
Like a
Is that what they're called?
ladder.
And you end up like coming across this like big ravine that you have to go inside. It's like, yes, I don't have to
Yeah.
like find a way down to like climb this. I can just literally use a rope and just climb my way down. Like it always felt so satisfying.
Yeah,
I
I usually
You're
don't
blowing
like.
my mind here.
I usually
was-
don't like inventory management in games, and it was actually kind of satisfying in this game once you got from point A to point B, knowing, okay, I picked the perfect things that I needed for that trek. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, and then like you can like set up some roads so you can drive. I ended up setting up like this massive road that ended up helping me a ton. I don't think you did that, Brett, and I wish you did because it made the game so much
Didn't.
quicker.
But I still used my bike all over, even in terrain that you're not supposed to. Like I took
Yeah,
my bike all over
bouncing
the place.
around, going nuts.
Yeah.
So would you guys want a sequel in the same vein, or would you want it a completely different genre of game?
Honestly,
I
I
don't
was
know.
hoping it was going to be a one and done. I don't think it necessarily needs a sequel. I think it's good
Yeah.
as a standalone game, and I was kind of looking forward to seeing what he would do next. But if he has more ideas, I guess show us. What do you think,
Yeah.
Brett?
Yeah, I'm kind of I think the same. Like, I wouldn't want to change it up too much because the game of how it was is what made it special, and like adding too much action might like take away from the reason why the first game worked so well. So yeah, I'm kind of torn. I'm always all about sequels to games that I love, but I'm almost with you on this. Like, this kind of almost should have just been a one and done. But I mean, dude, Kojima is a fucking mastermind of putting out stuff that's gold. So, I mean, I trust anything the guy does at this point. Personally, I know he's not everybody loves his stuff, but for my personal taste, I love so much of what he does.
Yeah, that's what's funny about this game is like it's not like considered like it's not up there with like God of War 2018, Spider-Man, what's another one like Horizon and all them like, but I think it's so much better than like Horizon Forbidden West. It's so much better than The Last of Us 2. And I don't know.
Well,
I
it
think
better be.
should
Look at these
but
fucking actors in it. Jeez.
It didn't jive with a
Like-
lot of people. What do you mean? The actors don't really.
Mads
that'll make the
Mikkelsen,
game
Idris
amazing.
Elba, Norman Reedus. Come on, man.
Mads
Idris
Mikkelsen.
Elba's not in it. No, he's
I
not.
don't think so.
No, he's not. But there's a really good actor in it
The Rock.
who was like more of an unknown who did this like amazing monologue at the end of the game that like I literally just like look it up on YouTube just to cry if I
it's,
if I need a good cry.
I have him on, or I follow him on Twitter, and I made a mention of that monologue you're talking about, and he actually liked my tweet. So I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't think of his name, but
Nice.
yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
That was like one of the best parts of the game.
Yeah.
Amazing acting. But yeah, I think it's one of the greats. I don't think it gets the love it deserves, and I think The Last of Us 2 gets too much love. So let's go ahead and move on to our topic, which is what we're playing. John, you want to go first?
What do you think I'm playing?
You're playing Yakuza 5.
That is correct.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if I've even played anything else, and well, all right. I guess I've played a
Other
little
than
bit
Horizon.
of like I played a little bit of like Castlevania Advance Collection, but
Nice.
that's something to play in the bathroom. But anyway,
When you need some alone
Yeah.
time.
yeah, Yakuza 5, like it's like I think it's like content wise, it's like the biggest game in the series. Like you just keep running into more crap that you can optionally do. Like I straight up ignored it because I was like, forget this. But there's a part where like you're chasing like a rooster down the street, and once you catch it, you learn that
course.
it's not cockfighting, it's cock racing. And there's like this whole mini game of you can train like a rooster to like race other chickens and stuff. And I was like, like these people are insane that somebody had this idea and they're like, all right, we're gonna program this whole mini game where you coach a chicken on how to go really fast in order to beat this game. It's like, because I'm not gonna touch this. Nuts to that. I'm not playing that. But there's like 20 things like this in this game, and it's so big. But yeah, no, I'm still loving this game. Like, it's ridiculous how much I like these games. But the character I'm now playing as, I'm playing as the final character, is he's a disgraced baseball player for reasons that were not his fault. And now his current job is that he writes about prostitutes that he sleeps with. And this is a job he has for a magazine.
A magazine.
And yeah,
This
they
is-
treat it so matter of factly that like it might
It's
actually
totally
be like a
normal.
real job. Like this might be like a real thing. Like
Maybe
like,
it is.
I don't know. I'll have to
Is
Google it.
prostitution legal in Tokyo?
No, it's not. But like there's like weird loopholes and stuff.
Like if you're
Like
filming,
Love
that's how it
hotels.
is here, right?
well, yeah, there's that, but like I think in this case it might be a soap land where it's like this weird thing where like you get like a massage or something and then you've become officially acquainted and you've paid for that and then like afterwards it's like, well, you have this shower and like this bath or whatever, like might as well get it on while you're here.
Okay, so
Like
it's more like two friends doing it instead of like two strangers.
yes, I think that's
Oh.
literally the philosophy they
That's
use
like the
for it.
loophole, yeah,
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
you're just loaning them $150 after.
for gas money or whatever.
something
Right.
something to that
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
Now that we're
So-
friends, I can loan you money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to finish this in like another like 2 weeks, but it's like it's such a big game, and like I mean I'm loving it, so I'm not in any rush either.
Yeah. You're gonna be proud of me. I finally played the first chapter of Yakuza 0. And I'm still in
Awesome.
chapter 1. I played like chapter 0 or whatever it was. And it's really good. It's really weird. The combat's fun. It's just a super strange game. It's just entertaining, you know? So I'm
Yeah.
excited to keep playing that. It takes a lot out of me to read a lot of dialogue in games. So I stopped.
Yeah, you're being a
I-
trooper, surviving all of these subtitles.
Yeah, so I can't. I'm a dubbed guy. I do not like subs.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I
that's
have-
why it's gonna take me a long time to get all the way through the game.
Right.
I have subtitles on everything.
Me too. I was just gonna
Everything.
say that. Yep.
I
Even
cannot
stuff
watch
that like
something
without
it's
it.
like perfect English. I feel like I could misunderstand something they're gonna say, and I don't want to go rewind back, so I just read it as they're saying it for more
I
clarity.
just
Yeah.
on
I would
everything,
never look
everything.
at the show. I would always just look at the words. So I just can't do it.
You,
Yeah.
I
think
get to
I'm
the
with
point
you
where
on
I don't
that.
even notice that I'm reading it as they're saying it. Like I don't feel like it takes away from the show because I barely even notice that I'm doing it. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
I guess
I
it's
turn
already-
on
oh.
I turn
ahead.
on subtitles only for when I'm watching The Witcher on Netflix because they have so many like made up names for things that like I have to put on the subtitles to see like what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gavalagadi is on its way.
Yeah. Precisely. But
Yeah. Since I already said I play a little bit of Yakuza 0, I guess I'll just do my next.
Mm.
I stopped that because I went out of town and I told myself I'm gonna try to like get a good amount of time into a game since it's a 4-hour drive there and back, or like 4 to 5 hours there and back. So I played a lot of Knights of the Old Republic on Switch. I surprisingly never played it. I love BioWare.
really?
I
Wow.
never played it. I'm a little embarrassed to say that, but I'm just gonna be open and honest with you guys. So I'm playing it for the first time. It's really like fun and like entertaining. The story's interesting. The characters, like the dynamic between them is cool. I still think that like the fact that I can bring different people out with me and then they have things to say to each other that are like unique to them being with me, and if they weren't with me they would never like say these things. That will always be more impressive to me than any amount of like ray tracing or 4K frames per second. I care about that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I want in my games. And I think it's really cool. It's very Mass Effect, which obviously it has its like lineage with that series, and I love Mass Effect, so I like having this crew of people with me and like getting to know them on this journey. And I'm about to hopefully leave like the first main area that you're in. Like I've been,
Paris?
yeah,
Or-
the whole game has been trying to get off that planet, and
Yeah.
we still haven't. And I'm not sure if like how much of the game is off of the planet or if it's like
A
mostly
lot of
on
it.
Terrace. Okay.
No, a lot of it's off of there.
Okay, yeah. So I'm about to leave there. Hopefully, we just save this chick. I won't spoil anything, just in case. Oh, there's a remake coming out, so I won't like get into deep spoilers or anything, since it's probably gonna follow the same storyline. But I really wanted to play this game before the remake because I'm about to admit another big gap in my gaming knowledge. I had never fully completed Final Fantasy VII, the original one, before the remake, and I told myself,
I've never beaten 7.
okay, cool. And then I told myself, you know what? I'll just wait for the remake. But then turned out Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't really much of the original game. It's like a totally different thing. It's in some ways
Like the
a
first
sequel
3
to
to
that.
5
Yeah,
hours.
it's just a
like,
section of it. Yeah.
yeah.
And then like with the story stuff they did at the end, it's in some ways like a sequel to the original Final Fantasy VII. So I wish I would have played that like right ahead of the remake because I felt like I would have appreciated it even more than I already did. But that was an amazing game.
Right.
But yeah, so with KOTOR, I want to play it before the remake, and then of course they announced KOTOR 2 is coming to Switch, and they're bringing all the DLC that was not in the original game. So we're gonna get
But
like
yeah.
new content.
The restored content, yeah, that was a really big deal because, like, as far as I know, that's only been available on PC. And there's a weird story behind that. Is that so? KOTOR 2 was basically like rushed out for Christmas like a million years ago,
Mhm.
and the game's really, really great. But when you get to the end of the game, and all of a sudden it just stops, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
what I heard.
wildly unsatisfying. It's just like stops, and then all of a sudden you're seeing the credits, and you're like, what? And so it was like very obvious it's like they ran out of time. And so it was the fans. The fans went like digging in the PC files of this game and found all this unused stuff. And they finished it and put it together themselves and released it as a mod. And for years, this mod was just by fans was treated as the definitive way to play. And
Yeah.
the port developer Aspire, I guess at some point went to those guys and was like, "Great job, guys! Can we like use this and like the official thing?" And like, "Sure, buds." And so
I'm still yeah,
it's
like I
gonna
was
happen.
wondering if that's how they were gonna have to do it, or if they were going to have to like remake what the fans already made. Because how do they distribute payments to people who probably like helped with some of the dialogue and that needed fixing or something like?
Well, I think like obviously I'm not a lawyer, but as my guess would be that because they're fans and it's not their IP and it wasn't really theirs to touch in the first place, I'm sure legally that they get
Oh, they have
nothing and
no
deserve
grounds.
nothing. Yeah,
Okay.
probably. Like, I mean, that's my guess. But I've heard though that like, I mean, they were just cool with working with Aspire because I mean, most fan groups, if they do a labor of love, they're not going to be like, no, don't use our stuff, don't help people play the thing we made. Like,
Yeah,
that's not usually how it works unless they're weird and
unless you're Nintendo.
crazy. Yeah.
Um,
so
They just
so
sue
yeah,
you into oblivion.
this is gonna be post-launch free DLC, which is
yeah,
pretty cool.
so I'm hoping to finish Knights of the Old Republic before that post-launch DLC comes out. I'm not gonna play through the game until that content is included, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Like, what's the
gonna.
point?
Yeah, exactly. Like the real version that you want to play is not out in a few weeks. It's the rest of the stuff that you should care about in this
Right.
this like restoration of the content.
Yeah. Depending on how much like space I have left on my Switch, like I might actually get it because I never played the restored content version before. I just played
Oh,
the
no.
original release on Xbox. Like, God, how many years ago was that? Like 18 years ago or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, I'm really into it. I probably put like 8 hours into it. But a lot of it was, I'll admit, I was lost in that opening like area that you're in. Like a lot of it looks the same, like a lot of the environment, so it's so easy to get lost. But I'm finally understanding the map a little bit more, and now I'm about to leave. I'm about to like not even be in it probably for the rest of the game. But yeah, it's cool to finally get an idea of what everyone was talking about with like this character Revan, and now I know there's like some type of twist in the story, but I literally don't know what it is. So please don't tell me, and please don't comment it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I haven't
so-
played it either. So yeah, please don't say anything. I mean, I can't imagine you would, but
And then aside from that, I played through Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the ride home. I played through the entire game on the Sega Genesis on Switch Online. And it's really great. It's just it brought back so many memories because I used to play that with my sister all the time back in the day. And back in the day, she could always get to the end, and I couldn't. I was like so jealous because I was the one who played video games all day, but somehow she could always get to the end. But because of the Switch, you had this little rewind feature. I was like, hell yeah, now I can beat this game, no problem. But
Nice.
surprisingly, I didn't have to use it as much as I expected. And typically, I would use it whenever it was like, I just missed like a stupid jump, and then I died, so I'm just gonna rewind it 2 seconds and jump again. But it's not nearly as hard as I remembered it being because I played it when I was probably like 7, 6.
Yeah, these are a lot harder when we were little kids.
Yeah, so that was just a really great game, and just re-experiencing Sonic, the new games I never played, like Lost World, and then like replaying the ones that I loved already, like Adventure 2 and Sonic 2. It's just it's making me more hyped about Sonic Frontiers, and it's just making me realize maybe Sonic's not as bad as everybody said. But am I still gonna keep making fun of Sonic? For sure. Now anyway, Greg, what have you been playing?
I
Greg?
think.
Oh.
Yeah. What I just said, long sigh.
I didn't hear the sigh. That was the problem.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
That did not
Brett,
sound like a sigh. It sounded like something else.
I did also poop my office chair, so I'm trying
Good
to
thing
think
we're
what I
almost
did
the
done.
smell is.
So am I. Played some Anthem, played some Bayonetta on PS3, played some Dark Souls 2 because somehow I ended up with the like collector's edition randomly because I went to a thrift store and it was behind the counter for like $8 in the metal tin, so I just ended up picking it up. Played a little bit of that. Took apart some controllers, replaced some innards, some thumbsticks, just kind of tinkered, played some retro stuff, but nothing too crazy. Still played
I'll
some Rocket
replace
League.
your innards.
I hope you will.
Oh.
They need some maintenance. My oil needs to be changed.
That's what I
It
hear.
always just has to get sexual with Greg. That's the problem.
I mean,
he
I
just
started.
said
at
he's
that
going to
time. Yeah,
replace
I
or
started-
explore my innards.
Explore.
Gut me like a fish.
Oh man. Now
But
what?
anyways, yeah, I just kind of tinkered around. I reorganized my NES collection in alphabetical order, so that was a pretty solid Memorial Day weekend over here.
Nice. I as you can see, I organized my desk finally, so I don't have to use the green screen behind me.
nice.
So this
Yeah.
is way better and way easier than having to move my green screen around, which is right there. So now I can shoot there for my show, and then I can just sit here for recording this podcast. So much better. I don't know why I didn't do it a long time ago. But Brett, we haven't gotten to what you are playing. Or Greg, you didn't really say much else. Did you want to say anything else? Like, how's your digestive system lately? You
Yeah, I
doing
know.
okay?
How's Dark Souls 2? Like, are you into Souls games or?
No,
I've never
and
really
so-
heard you talk about any Souls games before.
No,
I want to know
and
about the digestive system actually more than this.
That
I'm
too.
just
Let's
kidding.
talk about
Yeah.
both.
So the funny part is that I'm always constipated, yet I always have diarrhea.
I think everyone understands. I think literally everyone understands.
Yeah, especially our age.
Exactly.
No, but it's funny because I have always heard, about Souls games being so difficult, blah 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 blah. And I've also heard, that Elden Ring has a lot to experience, and I'm torn, but I'm like, I played games like this, pretty much my entire life. They have like a parry and a dodge and, obnoxious bosses and enemies that are constantly badgering you and being in tense situations. I played tons of bullet hell games and beat 'em ups with like overwhelming enemies and stuff like that. So I'm like, maybe I should just give it a shot. And I haven't really done much. The intro's pretty slow, but I can already tell like, okay, it's not, as overwhelming as I thought it was going to be, and it kind of gets me in the mood to like finally give Elden Ring maybe a try. But I've been trying to go back and pick up From Software games just so I can experience them on the original hardware for the first time, which kind of, we talked about this before the show, but my PS3 took a dump when I went to go boot it up. So I'm gonna take that apart too and see what's up with it.
I'm just surprised
But-
you're choosing to play on PS3 whenever you could just like play the game at high frame rate and stuff on PC. Like
Nah.
that's your typical thing. Like you're Greg, the
don't-
PC guy. What are you doing on PS3?
Yeah, well, it really depends. Like if it's something that was, that primarily gained a lot of its fanfare on console, especially like a PS2, PS3, then I'm probably going to go back and play it there. But
Interesting.
I did play, actually, I finally booted Guardians of the Galaxy back up again, and it looks awesome on PC.
Now, Greg, you should really play through Guardians because it is really good. I think you'll actually
I'm
like
like
it.
more than 3/4 of the way done. I just need to finish it. Like, just
Do it.
head down and do it.
So good.
Finish a
man.
game this month, Greg.
It's been so long. I haven't finished a game since Kirby,
Really?
God, what is wrong with you?
and I don't know what
That
the last
hurts
game
my
before.
soul.
I don't know what the last game before Kirby was, which is even worse.
Since Kirby, I've beaten 9 games. The Witcher 2, Horizon 2, Breath of the Wild, Crossfire, Fallout 3, Sonic Lost World, Xenoblade Chronicles, the DLC, like the weird thing, and then Sonic 2 and Sonic Forces. Too much Sonic, obviously.
This is a list you just have ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yeah,
On
it's on my GG. GG.
I do the
app
same
is
thing.
Great.
It's fun.
It is. This allows me to log all of my stuff across every platform, whereas I used to mainly play on PlayStation, so everything would be in my trophies and whatnot. But since I play on everything now, like mostly on like Xbox lately, like now it's just nice having all this on one device.
Sure.
And I stopped caring about trophies because it took up way too much of my time playing through Barbie games to get platinum trophies.
That's the spirit.
I feel like I really know you now. Like we've become acquaintances.
Good.
Interesting.
Just acquaintances. I thought we've been best friends for like 8 years, but
I don't
we're
know.
officially acquaintances.
I was trying to tee up a shower joke, but
Oh, like we should take a shower together or something? A golden shower?
not again.
I mean, is there any other showers? Come on.
True.
A
But yeah.
bloodbath.
Okay, just stop, Greg. Greg, you need help. Oh yeah, I forgot though. I did play through the Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. I played through that since we last talked. It was like the expansion for Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition on Switch, and I thought it was good. It was a nice little side story for Melia, if I'm remembering her name right.
Yeah.
I'm bad with names, but just get more of her backstory and just it was just fine. It wasn't like amazing or anything, but it was worth playing in my opinion. And I'm really excited for the next Xenoblade. Can't wait. And I think that's pretty much it for the week, you guys. I mean, we got a lot of big
we
stuff coming
skipped
up.
Brett.
Yeah, I never did.
Oh, Brett, what are you playing? Sorry.
Motherfucker.
Language.
That's not
This
as
is a family
that's-
show.
that's not as bad as the one time he skipped what we're playing altogether, and we
I mean,
just
sometimes
finished the
we have to
show.
do
And we
that.
didn't even.
Sometimes we have to do that, like depending on time.
Yeah. So I went back and looked at my GG. I have beaten 7 games since Kirby. Black the Fall, Trek to Yomi, The Plane Effect, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Batman Origins.
Arkham Origins.
Kind of some Arkham Origins.
I just randomly
So-
corrected you for no reason.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad you did though, because I said that wrong. I've been all over the place on what I've been playing lately, other than Trek to Yomi. That is the only new game I've played lately, since Kirby. And part of that's because there's been just kind of a lull in like brand new big time like big games for a few weeks now, and probably for a few
For
more
sure.
weeks.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of just playing some random stuff. So at the beginning of the year, I told Brad I was going to play every Uncharted from 1 till all of the ones other than Golden Abyss. And at the start of the year, I played 1, 2,
Golden
3,
showers.
4. Exactly. And then I was going to play Lost Legacy, but I think Horizon Forbidden West came out. Anyways, I put it on the back burner. So after Kirby came out, I finished Lost Legacy, or not. It was another game. I don't know. Finished Lost Legacy, and when I was done with that, I'm like, I'm still in the mood for like an Uncharted type game. So then naturally I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play the a couple Tomb Raider games right after that. So then I played Rise of. I'm playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider right now. I'm just about done with that. And I started Gears of War 1. I've never played the original Gears of War. So
Love it.
I'm on the very last chapter of that, and even though it was like it was they gave it like a facelift and remastered it, I'm still surprised at how good it looks. Like it for being an original Xbox game, like it looks
360.
fantastic. Or sorry, I meant to say 360. But it looks fantastic. And like the gameplay is great. Like the shooting feels like phenomenal. So, but that's been fun. And there's a game coming out tonight that I'll be downloading called Silt.
Ooh.
I know you guys know that game is that little indie 2D game
Black
underwater.
and white one.
Black and white one. Yeah, totally my kind of game. I'm sure it'll only be 2 or 3 hours long, so I'll probably beat that in like tomorrow or something.
Now,
But
Brett,
I've been
I'm
excited for
tired
that.
of you playing these 2-hour games and catching up to me on GG. It's just not fair. Because I'm playing these
I do.
massive RPGs, and they're both worth the same amount as a tiny
I know.
indie game.
We kind of compete on how many games we've beat throughout the year, and he's still ahead of me by 6, even though like 7
Really?
of my games are like 3 to 5 hour games. And you beat 24, right?
25
Or no,
now.
you beat 25. Yeah, I've beaten 18, but I've almost got beat Shadow of and Gears, so I've got 2 that are
Yeah.
almost done.
Yeah,
But,
and I do want to say, since you brought him up, I actually booted up Gears since he did, because I was like, I wonder how this game looks now. And on Series X, I think it got no, I don't think it did. It did not get a 1X enhancement, so I think it's still 1080p, but it's at 60 FPS and has like HDR and stuff. And man, that remaster still looks great, and it feels so good to play, especially at 60 FPS now. Because Greg, like I always said, frames per second matter greatly. So
here's
you
Greg.
hypocrite.
I can't play Horizon Zero Dawn because it only runs at 30 frames per second. Also, Greg, I'm gonna play
playing on PS3.
I'm gonna play Dark Souls 2 on PS3.
A game that infamously runs at like 20 FPS on PS3.
Can
But,
you say that game? What was the first game you mentioned?
I don't even remember now.
Horizon Zero Dawn,
Oh yeah, what year did that come out?
2017.
2017. Yeah.
Yeah, what year did Dark Souls 2 come out?
I don't know.
Nobody cares.
I
about
said
that game.
Nobody likes Dark Souls 2. 20.
But our point is
12?
you could play it on modern hardware with better FPS. For being an
Gears
FPS
1,
guy.
I think I'm actually going to end up playing through the whole Gears 1 because I haven't played it since it came out, like the remaster on Xbox One, and it just looks and plays so well. So I'm probably going to play through it. And then he also brought up Batman Arkham Origins. I've been begging him to play that game forever now. I actually sent him the disc because it's not backwards compatible through digital.
He sent, I'll be quick with this. He sent me the disc in the mail and like 3 months ago. And I originally played it like a few days after he sent it to me, and I got stuck on a boss, and it pissed me off so bad one night that I was like, I'm not playing this game. Like I'm done with it. I'm like, I'll give it a couple days and go back to it. And it frustrated me so much I never went back to it.
3 months later, he finally played it.
3 months later, finally, I was like, I've got to play this game. Brett sent it to me. I got to, and I ended up really, really liking that game. If you guys have not played it, like the story gets so good, and like some of the encounters with bosses, a couple of like of my favorite boss fights in a long time are in that game. It's good.
For sure.
Which game?
Arkham Origins.
Arkham Origins.
Oh yeah. After Arkham City, I was kind of just done with the series.
Arkham City was so
It's
good
good, though.
I like
Do you
the
like
first one
the-
more.
Yeah, the first one,
Just Batman.
I would say
Batman,
like
Metroid.
story-wise. Yeah, it was like 100% just a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum is fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
I like them all, but
Yeah.
Except Night. Night disappointed me quite a bit, but it's
No,
okay.
man, I love Night.
The
Some of the
frickin-
driving stuff wasn't amazing.
Yeah, it
but
was just
I
too
liked it.
repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably still gonna be. Night's probably gonna be better than whatever Gotham Knights is, which does
you
not
know-
look that great.
You know what's
my
crazy too is Mark Hamill plays Joker in the original trilogy, right? Or that he plays Joker in
Asylum City
and Night, right? So I was telling Brett, I was like, When I was playing Arkham Origins, I was like, dude, Mark Hamill is so good as the Joker. It's amazing. And he wrote me, he's like, that's not Mark Hamill, that's Troy Baker. Dude, it's insane. He sounds just like the Mark Hamill version of Joker. Like I literally didn't know that it was different. Like spot on, exact imitation of Mark Hamill's Joker. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he did a great job, and so did Roger Craig Smith as Batman. He plays him in Arkham Origins, and Kevin Conroy is in the other games.
Yep.
Luckily, both of them have went on to play those characters in other things. Like Troy Baker was the Joker in like a movie, and then Roger Craig Smith was Batman in like one of the animated movies as well. But
nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Anything else? Am I forgetting to ask anyone else what they're playing? Mary, wherever you are.
We hope
this
you're
says
well.
Just keep playing what you're playing.
keep on doing it. Let's go ahead and close up shop once again. If you made it this far, please leave us a review over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It would really mean a lot. I think this show's a lot of fun, and I like hanging out with you guys. And I like podcasts where the people are actually friends and they actually talk outside of the show, and we all do talk to each other. John, you've been a little quiet lately. I'm gonna have to start messaging you more. But yeah, so I think we're a fun crew to hang out with. So if you want to, please hit that subscribe button if you're watching right now. Or if you're on audio, of course, subscribe there as well. But yeah, Brett, if people want to know where to find you, where can they go?
Easiest place to find me is going to be on Twitter. It's right on my handle there, B_Lars24.
Awesome. Greg, what about you?
The coffee shop. I need caffeine. You can find me over at PC Invasion, as well as on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at Dynamite_giraffe. It's not spelled like it is in my Twitter handle, but if you spell out the full thing, it should come up on all those platforms.
Nice.
And on Pornhub, Dynamite Big Giraffe.
I only comment. I'm only a commenter there.
Only a commenter, not a creator.
Looks excellent. Thanks.
Does anyone know her name?
Yeah. Does she have an OnlyFans?
What's her at?
Girl at 0013. Who is that?
Yeah, right. I'm like, what's his at?
Now, John, what about you?
You can find me in the shower with friends.
There we go.
Wow.
The golden
Jesus
shower.
Almighty.
You
Shower
know,
with friends.
the usual. Come swing by The Escapist if you want to see me feed you news and stuff. And I'm making my video game Boss Saga at the thing that I don't remember anymore, and I just have Eric tell everybody every week what my website is. But yeah, it's called Boss Saga. Look it up if you feel
BossGasSaga.com,
like
right?
it. Probably, I don't know. It's only my
Eric,
video
we
game.
need confirmation.
But it exists.
Boss.saga.com.
Whatever.
Yeah, John.
Boss-saga.com.
Boss-saga.com. Yes, there we go.
The passionate developer. It's at whatever on whatever the
Yeah.
Well, lately I've been busy actually making the thing, which is like the best reason to be ignoring my website. So
There you go.
True.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I do want to shout out Greg and John one more time because I often run into your guys' articles on social media or like when I Google something and it's funny, like I'll read the article and then scroll up and be like, oh, this is freaking Greg's article or something like that. Like I'm like, oh, that's cool. Or this is John's. So yeah, you guys are doing great work over on those websites. And yeah, me, if you want to follow me at BrettNLL, definitely go follow Destructoid over on TikTok at Destructoid. We're doing an awesome giveaway right now. We're giving away a Switch OLED model, a PS5, and an Xbox Series X to whoever can find it. What? I didn't hear
all
you.
at once.
All at once to
Yeah,
one
all
person.
to one person.
Whoever can figure out the secret word. Currently, there's like 4 or 5 letters hidden in TikToks. I don't remember how many, but some people are getting close, so you might want to go hurry up.
Is it
Go become a
kerfuffle?
detective. It's not kerfuffle. That'd be a good one, though. That would have been a great one. But yeah,
Dude,
so
you're gonna
definitely go
change
check this
someone's
out.
life. Someone that
it's
doesn't like have
right?
money or
Some
something.
people
They're
are
gonna come up
commenting.
on 3 consoles. Jeez,
What people
But
don't
also, unless you
understand
get
is,
it to a scalper.
yeah.
that's true. That.
But what some people are not getting is like, you can actually win this. Like this isn't. We're not like a huge TikTok page. Go
Right,
find
yeah.
these letters, get them all and figure out the word and freaking post it. You will get all 3 consoles. I will ship them to you. So definitely try. Like, I'm telling you, try, because it's worth it. Like, it's not that hard. Just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for hints and clues, and just become a detective. It's not that hard. So yeah, so definitely go check out that giveaway on our TikTok. Thanks a lot for hanging out, you guys. Eric's playing the video on the screen right now. Nice. And once again, shout out to Eric on the 1s and 2s, hosting from his supercomputer.
You're the
This has
man,
been
Eric.
Spot Dodge. We'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Peace.
Adios.